What's up, guys? It's me, JellyKnees, and I want to talk about the water girl herself. Marina is gonna be. I love Marina's design as a character, so I'm really excited to talk about her potential kit and all of those things in there. But make sure you get subscribed, and let's jump into it. So Marina, her art, we've got this T pose like everybody else. I really like her model a lot, and I think it shows she's one of the more recent developments for Ethereal that we know about, of the myths we know about. And I think it shows a little bit in her design. I think she has a much cleaner aesthetic to her than some of the myths, the other myths, but at the same time they're all good. So like it's very, very cool to see that this design came to be what it is. We don't have nearly as many images for Marina as we do for the others, but we have her base splash here, which again think follows that that very clean design aesthetic. And then we have her skin, which is Death Blossom Marina, if I remember correctly. This skin looks so good. I mean, Mangoose and I talked about in Enter the Ether that this is probably our favorite skin of the tier 1 skins. Just because everything they did, that from the hair color to the little the fins on the top of her head, to the costume changes, to the coloring, like it just all fits so well. And they did a really, really good job of creating this design for her, but making it feel unique instead of just a skin with a recolor, because that's not what it is. There are huge changes to her skin comparatively to the base skin that you see here. It just looks absolutely, absolutely amazing. And let's get into her voice lines before we go over her abilities.
From my waters to yours. Storms guide me, seas protect me. Wow, I wish I could take this place back with me. But then, everyone would drown. Wishful thinking, I suppose. I find the lack of bioluminescence here a bit strange, but it's nothing I can't get used to. Unfamiliar terrain. I have to get a closer look. I trained for this. I can overcome anything. Waters protect me. Feel the power of the ocean. I will short you out. Blood is thicker than water, but far easier to draw from idiots. Use this power for good, Iran. Room for a vocalist, Nikolai? My waters will ease your pain, Malaya. Oops! I hope I didn't short anything out. With water, the power of light is multiplied. Be more careful, Kalia. Yes, Talos. Water, good. I don't think he understands. Hurricane Marina. Ooh, refreshing. Tastes like the waters of home. Eye on the horizon. Take warning. Hydrodynamic. I like it. Add it to my trident, I suppose. Prepare to drown. Ugh. Why does it smell like wet dog in here? Tide comes back in. From the oceans I am born anew.
All right, guys. So the voice lines for Marina, I think, are really, really good. And I think it shows the mastery that Tricolor has in mixing some of these voice lines, in that the effects that are on the voices are just enough to be complimentary, but they're not overdone by any stretch of the imagination. The kind of like watery sound that Marina has is just incredible. And it feels natural instead of feeling like an added effect that you just put on because that's the character. The character is a water character, so we have to have water sounding voice. No, like it's really subtle, but it's really, really nice to see. So huge congratulations to Tricolor for that, and props, like crazy. But let's talk about where Marina's from, all of that kind of stuff. So Marina is from Etelos, and she will be ranged and magical, which we kind of expected, that she's going to be some kind of like caster-esque support. As such, she's going to be in the cleric class, which for the clerics, the class ability is that they will be able to pick from one of several Etherean paths and gain a specific bonus or ability or something along those lines, dependent on which path they choose. They talked about in the extra life test having, I believe they said it was 8 paths, but I could be wrong. It was either 4 or 8. I apologize that I don't remember the exact number, But so even though that's still an extra amount of choices that they can make as characters at the beginning of each game, which I think is a very, very cool thing to see. But let's go into her little mini lore that we got. Protector of Aedalos, Marina vigorously trained to keep her village safe. She was tasked with guarding the nearby portal which connected to other realms. After noticing something erratic within the water, the portal began to grow. Marina was engulfed by the activated gateway, ripping her from her homeland. Marina brings her role of protector to dry land without missing a step. Able to command the element of water, the Sirelean Sentinel has a plethora of abilities to support her allies in combat, whether it be hindering the movement of enemy myths, providing healing and shielding for allies, or performing formidable support damage of her own. Marina is sure to leave her mark on every encounter. So, I mean, I really like this design of that she was ripped away from her homeland. And I bet you in the extended lore that we're probably going to get for her, we're going to learn more about that and how she was ripped away, what she's doing to try and get back, all of those things. Her voice lines talk about like she wishes she could take everyone home with her or everything home with her, but they would all drown. So her home is clearly underwater. Lost City of Atlantis type deal is the feel I'm getting. But I really, really love that whole aesthetic. Now let's get into what her potential abilities will be. So Marina brings her role of protector to dry land without missing a step. Able to command the element of water. I think that this shows, I mean, we kind of figured at this point, her abilities are going to have some kind of water effect with them. That there's clearly going to be a tie-in with the element to all of her stuff. She has a plethora of abilities to support her allies in combat. This to me means that she might get some kind of buff to allies, that she can select an ally, give them a buff that in combat she bolsters their defenses, healing, damage, whatever it may be. Whether it be hindering the movement of enemy myths, so clearly she's going to have some kind of slow or root, providing healing or shielding for allies. This to me sounds like Marina's going to have a very similar kit to Nami in League of Legends. She has a bubble that can keep people knocked up in the air. She can slow enemies. She can also bounce a healing ability off of enemies or on allies, and it heals or does damage accordingly. So it sounds very similar to that, at least in this description. So we'll be really curious to see what her abilities are in that regard as well. Or performing formidable support damage of her own. This to me sounds like she can build damage magic items and still come out on top and be a very strong caster support at the same time. The last line is really interesting to me. Marina is sure to leave her mark on every encounter. This makes me wonder if she has some kind of marking passive that when she hits an enemy, leaves a mark on them that somebody else can consume or she can consume if she casts an ability on them. And it could be really interesting to see how they go through all of those things and how the mark is going to apply to her and a carry being in a lane together. If it's going to be something that they can really work together on, or if it's something that just Marina has to do to get damage or extra healing or something among those lines. Toward that end, we do have a icon for Marina's right mouse button ability. Originally, we were talking about this being some kind of charm or taunt just based on the image. At this point, I don't know that that's a thing. For the other right mouse buttons, we've gotten a feeling in their ability description paragraphs that we were mostly on the right track. Her paragraph doesn't mention a charm of any kind. So I'm really curious if we're actually right on this one, or if this is something else entirely that we don't know quite yet. Potentially, this is that marking ability that sends out a wave, and because of that, she does extra damage, or she marks people for extra damage, or whatever that may be. But toward the end of having Marina as a caster and a support at the same time, I did make a build for her. And this is kind of a half damage, half supportive build that should give her a lot of healing and mana capabilities throughout the game. The biggest thing here that we have for Marina's build is the Book of Pandora. Book of Pandora gives 400 mana, some magical power, some cooldown reduction, but the really big thing there is the passive called Hope. Healing an allied myth heals them an additional amount over 3 seconds. So not only is she going to have a heal, she's going to heal more with this item and make it heal over time, which will be a very, very cool thing to have. But she's also got a lot of damaging items in here. I mean, she's also got a Talisman of Life that's going to give her more magic, more health, more mana. But now whatever damage she does do, she also can gain back as Omnivamp. So it's going to be kind of an all-around healing build for Marina that I really think could fit really well for her and the abilities of what we think they are so far. So guys, that's going to call it for Marina. I've decided, so this is our second video for today. Tomorrow we're going to finish up the Myths mini lore series. So we're going to do Noxus and Talos both tomorrow. And then on Thursday and Friday, we're going to start into another series of videos. But I'm really excited to get moving on to those things. There's a lot to talk about and I can't wait for it. So make sure you guys get subscribed. If you want to see all of the ethereal content I've made so far, click right over there. If you want to see a video tailored just for you by YouTube on the other side, then click the icon above me, get subscribed, turn the bell on so you don't miss anything, and I'll see you guys in the next one.